Candlelighting Marlene and Tracy Birch, Pam Poster, Glory Rosenberger, Joette Adler, Donna Miller. We thank you so much for supporting and being a part of the Shabbaton band. This is participants or spouses of our Shabbatons. The Kaddish and Motzi will be led by Best Costume winners.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kiddushanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu lehadlik ner shel Shabbat. עצרת בעלה, גם בשמחה ובסולה, תוך אמוני עם סגולה, בואי חלה, בואי Blessed are you, me the Shabbat, your everlasting love. Take me to a sacred place. Let me hear your holy text chanted loud. Come and join the people's praise. I'm back to rejoicing in Torah. When I get up and lie down, God, back to rejoicing in Torah. Say the word and you'll be free. Say the word and be like me. Say the word I'm thinking of. Have you heard the word is love? It's so fun, it's sunshine, it's the word love. In the beginning I misunderstood, but now I've got it, the word is good. Spread the word and you'll be free. Spread the word and be like me. Spread the word I'm thinking of. Have you heard the word is love? It's so fun, it's sunshine, it's the word Shema. Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad. You can stay standing. We're still singing Shema. Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad.
אחד, שתיים, שלוש, ארבע, חמש, שש, שבע, שמונה.
Listen, Israel, Adonai is our God. Listen, Israel, Adonai is one. Listen, Israel, Adonai is our God. Yeah, yeah, Shema Yisrael. Yeah, yeah, Adonai is one. Yeah, yeah, Shema Yisrael. Baruch Shem Kevod Malchuto Leolam Vaed. Yeah, yeah, Shema Yisrael. Yeah, yeah, בראשיתך בביתך ובלכתך בדרך ושכבך ובקומך וקשרתם להיות על ידיך והיו לטוטפות בין עיניך וכתבתם על מזוזות ביתך ובישעריך למען תזכרו ועשיתם את כל מצוותיי והייתם קדושים לאלוהיכם אני אדוני אלוהיכם אשר הוצאתי אתכם מארץ מצרים להיות לכם לאלוהים אני אדוני אלוהיכם.
Shabbat with God as a covenant forever and ever. We've shown our bond with God forever and ever and ever and ever. Yeah, Mishaberach, Bnei Israel, et HaShabbat. it is a sign between me and my people. They are the people of Israel. They will show their trust in me by doing my mitzvot. Mishaberach, b'nei Israel, et ha-Shabbat. For in 6 days God made heaven and God made earth, and on the 7th day God took a rest from work and began anew. Mishaberach, b'nei Israel, et ha-Shabbat. Come together for Shabbat. Come together for Shabbat. Come together. Come together for Shabbat. Come together. Please rise for the Amidah. Adonai Svatai Tiftach Ufi Yagid Tehilatecha. Adonai, open up my lips so that my mouth can declare your praise. Adonai Svatai Tiftach, Svatai Tiftach, Svatai Tiftach, Ufi Yagid Tehilatecha, Tehilatecha, Tehilatecha. Adonai, open up my lips so that my mouth can declare your praise. Adonai. Adonai Svatai Tiftach, Svatai Tiftach, Svatai Tiftach, Ufi Yagid Tehilatecha, Tehilatecha, Tehilatecha. Adonai, open up my lips so that my mouth can declare your praise. Adonai, open up my heart so that I can pray with all my soul. Adonai Svatai Tiftach, Svatai Tiftach, Svatai Tiftach, Ufi Yagid Tehilatecha, Tehilatecha, Tehilatecha. We continue in silent devotion. If you wish, you can follow in the Siddur, pages 166 through 180, or you can use the themes that will be presented in front of you on the screen. When you've completed your prayers, please be seated. Shalom, 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 Al Yisrael Amecha Tasim Le'olam. Grant us peace. Grant us peace. Grant us peace. Grant us peace to your people Israel forever. Shalom, Rav. Shalom, Rav. Shalom, Rav. Shalom, Rav. Al Yisrael Amecha Tasim Le'olam.
This beautiful rendition of the Mishaberach encourages us to imagine a different type of world. A world not only of peace, but free of illness and pain. We think of our loved ones at this time who are in need of our prayers. We ask that God watches over them. We think of caregivers who give patiently of themselves to bring hope and love and care and concern to their beloved family members and friends. Think of those who face addictions and depression and all kinds of demons inside who struggle to be healthy and to be in this world. All of them are included in our Mishaberach prayer. And so if there is someone special in your life that you would like to say their name now, please stand and say their names, as many names as you would like. Just say the names, as many names as you would like. And now we as a community, we stand in solidarity as we join together in Mishaberach.
Imagine there's a heaven. It's easy if you try. Beauty all around us. Surround us, Adonai. Imagine all the people living for today. Imagine there's no cancer. It isn't hard to do. Nothing to plague or harm us, and no addictions too. Imagine all the people living life in peace. You may say I'm a prayer, but I'm not the only one. I hope someday you'll join us, and the world will be as one. Mishaberach Avoteinu, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Refuah shlema min hashamayim. Refuat hanefesh, refuat haguf. Hashtaba agam. Ubizman karev v'nomar amen. You may say I'm a prayer, but I'm not the only one. I hope someday you'll join us, and the world will live as one.
Good Shabbos, everyone. I first want to begin my thoughts with a special word of thanks to our cantor, Jessica Hutchings, for putting this beautiful service on. Wave 'em high, there you go. And of course, our Shabbatones who shine so brightly. Our junior cantors, our students, so many other people I'm going to thank at the end of religious school. I mean, at the end of religious school, at the end of services. Yeah, thinking ahead. So you all know next week is Beach Boys Shabbat. The week after, Grateful Dead Shabbat. Instead of Rosh Hashanah, Britney Shabbat. Too soon? Never? So, it's an interesting thing not to be in Purim. It's interesting to balance parody and prayer, to balance entertainment and embracement. But in many ways, a service like this harkens back to a long tradition in the Reform movement. And those of you who are here for the first time, no, we don't change themes every week. We do have a prayer book called Mishkan Tefillah. But we are most assuredly a part of the Reform movement, which seeks to look for creative ways to embrace people, to combine the ancient with the modern. And this is how far we have come. This morning I'm at an interfaith gathering, and a Sikh turns to me and says, "What's that Beatles Shabbat you got going?" Honest to God, yes. So there's a certain admiration and a certain sense of joy in order to have that freedom. But it's also, I know our cantor considers it a sacred responsibility, taking over a year to create all of the words to the songs and combine them with just the right music. So it's really something special. So this time of year, as we lead into the high holidays, is always a reflective one. In our tradition, we say it's the month of Elul. And were we Orthodox Jews, in the morning, the shofar would be blown every morning, reminding us that it's almost time for the high holidays. If you go to my house and you see my messy desk, you'll know it's almost time for the high holidays. But it's a reflective time for me for another reason, and that's because tomorrow is my 33rd wedding anniversary. So I'm going to take a special point of privilege to thank my wife for putting me up with me for these years. And it does make us reflective, because we were married August 29th in 1982, and we moved to Cincinnati, Ohio. And within about a week, we met this other couple that had been married about a week longer than us. And somehow, a friendship formed. He was in graduate school, I was in graduate school. The wives were working. We thought, hey, this is pretty good. Maybe we can keep this going through the whole tenure of our marriage. But not to be. I graduated, became a rabbi. He graduated, became a big pharmacist in a business. And the years came and went, and we stayed in touch, and our lives paralleled each other. We both got dogs at the same time. We both had kids at the same time. And recently, their daughter announced that she wanted to get married, and so they called me and said, "Would you do this for us?" I don't really do it that often, because otherwise I'd be flying all around the U.S., and it's more glamorous than it seems. So they invited me to do the ceremony 2 weeks ago, and I went out there to Milwaukee, Wisconsin. Now, when you fly into a wedding without really knowing the couple or the situation you're going into, it's not like knowing what I have here. All I know was that they were going to be in this hip place called the Warehouse. So it came time for the wedding rehearsal, and I get taken, they bring me over there, and I realized why it was called the Warehouse. It was a warehouse. Over there were 3 outhouses. Over there was a dilapidated truck, and over there was a dilapidated car. The stage were my steps. Oh, we'll put cinder blocks, Rabbi. And it was a complete mess, and Lake Michigan provided the appropriate aroma as it blew. Needless to say, I wondered what kind of mess I'd gotten myself into, because I do have a sense of pride. in the weddings I officiate. And did they think, it's a Vegas rabbi, he'll do anything, and I left my Elvis costume at home. Oh, I guess I will do anything, won't I? I'm in a Beatles outfit. So the next day comes, and they told me, Rabbi, don't worry, everything will be fine. And I said to the mother of the bride, they said, don't look at me. They planned this. I'm just here because they're in their early 30s. So they, it's different. It's not young kids planning a wedding. They plan the wedding. Mom and dad are there to, write the check and get some nachas. So the day comes, and we go into the warehouse. And honest to God, I don't know what happened. It was transformed. You couldn't see the outhouses. They were there. The stage had beautiful flowers. The cinder blocks somehow made just the right steps. And the cars were both hidden and revealed to provide kind of a funky atmosphere that really reflected this couple. And the wedding went off as it should, and they thankfully laughed at my bad jokes when they should. And afterwards we partied from 1:30 till 10 at night. It was truly a family gathering that came from many, many different places. And so I thought not only about what a great time I had and what a great wedding this was, I thought, here I am in the month of Lul, and what did I do? I do everything that I tell people not to. I was quick to judge. I was quick to doubt. I was quick to be disappointed. I was quick to find the missing tile on the ceiling, or the dot in the white piece of paper, the darkness in the light. I was quick to say, this isn't going to work. And I wondered where that faith went. And as we enter into the month of Elul, I thought maybe that's a good message to bring to this congregation. To remind ourselves that perhaps we are often too quick to judge. Too quick to say, what, a Beatles Shabbat, what could this be? What is all this change? And we relax a little bit, and we open our hearts, and all of a sudden, we see the world, through different glasses. And it's good, and it's a good feeling. So I saw a little vignette that I thought was clever. It was about two people who owned shoe stores, a shoe business rather. One sent his salesman to a foreign country, and he calls back and he says, boss, I got bad news. Well, what is it? We're not going to sell a lot of shoes. They don't wear shoes in this country. The second guy who owned a shoe business sent his salesman to the same country. And he calls back. He says, boss, I got great news. What is it? They don't wear shoes in this country. What an opportunity. Well, opportunity presents itself where you least expect it. And so, if we're going to have a little faith in our friends, I'm going to leave you with this saying that I heard this morning amongst a group of 10 different religions. Faith is following the light until the light is no more and it becomes darkness. And in that darkness, faith says there is a place that is solid and you can stand on. Or you know that you can fly. Shabbat Shalom.
I wrote this little parody a couple weeks ago to remind us how wonderful it is to be here at CNT and the wonderful people and things that happen when we join together.
There are places I remember all my life. have gone, and some remain. All these places have their moments with family and friends. I still can recall. Some are dead and some are living. In my life, I've loved them all. And with all these friends and family, a community was built with you, and these memories hold their meaning. When I think of prayer as something true, and I think of CNT with such affection for people and times I've had here before, and I know I'll often stop and think about them. In my life, my prayer is home. And I think of CNT with such affection for people and times I've had here before, and I know I'll often stop and think about them. In my life, my prayer is home. In my life, my prayer is home.
Please rise for the Aleinu.
Oh yeah, I'll tell you something. I think you'll understand when I
We remain standing for the Kaddish. It can be found in your prayer book on page 598. We think of those who have died in recent days: Arnie Espin, Solomon Woods, Ann Bennett, Rosalind Blumenthal, Stanley Bernstein, Nels Jensen, Madeline Eisenhart, Reverend Jerry Blankenship, and Lucy Walker. Our Yortsites that we recall are Dorothy Enhalzer, Sylvia Block, Sammy Braun, David Kaddish, Mo Cohen, William Cohen, Grace M. Cummins, Esther Engel, Carl Fishbein, Dorothy Freed, Armin Friedman, Abraham Gellin, Arnold Ginsberg, David Glickman, Elaine Gotthelf, Leah Fromson Handler, Isidore Hellman, Ari Holliday, David James, Milton Judd, William Sonny Klein, Stanley Klein, Alan Joseph Martin, Lena Miller, Caleb Rakoff, Sylvia Rotter, Helen Rose, David Schweitzer, Stephen Server, Arnold Smith, Jeffrey Smith, Julius Walker, Celia Watman, Erwin Winner, Michael Wright, Harry Yaffe, Albert Zalato. If you would like to recall the name of someone who is not mentioned for Kaddish or Yortzeit, as I look your way, please simply say their name. In this section here. In this section here. The third section. In the fourth section. Shabbatones.
Sally Friedman.
So we think of all these and others who have touched our hearts as we say Kaddish. Yit Gadol, Levit Kadash, Shemei Rabbah, B'Alma, Divrach, Yirutei, B'Yamlich, Malchutei, B'Chaychon, Yomechon, B'Chay Dachol Beit Yisrael, Magala Bizman Kariv, Yimru Amen. Yeheshmei Rabbah Mevorach Le'olam Omei Almaya, Yit Barach, V'Yishtabach, V'Yitpa'ar, V'Yitramam, V'Yitnasei, V'Yitadar, V'Yitaleh, V'Yitalal, Shemei Dekusha, B'Richu, Leila min kol birchata v'shirata, tush bechata v'nechemata, v'amiram v'yalma v'yamru amen. Yehesh lama rabba min shamayim v'chayim, Aleinu v'yal kol Yisrael v'yamaru amen. Oseh shalom b'mramav, hu yaseh shalom, Aleinu v'yal kol Yisrael v'yamaru amen. May be seated. So in a few moments we will conclude this service, and some of you, you know who you are, have volunteered to help serve the food at our Shabbat barbecue. So if you are one of those wonderful people, now is your time to make your way back to the kitchen and to the social hall. And at the conclusion of service, those of you who have made reservations, you should have your little coupons, because we said the Kaddish and Motzi already. You're going to go out these two side doors and up the hallway and into the social hall, and just go right to the food line and give them your food coupon. We have dinner reservations for about 200, and we have food for just that many too. So you'll be fed, and be patient and be respectful of each other. There's plenty of food. But if you have young children, please help them, although we do have servers as well. So bear with me for a moment. Shh. Many thank yous to all those who made tonight possible. Our Shabbaton band members include Ira Spector, Mike Adler, David Rubenstein, David Miller, Brad Torchin, Glory Rosenberger, Eddie Birch, Tracy Birch, and Matt Birch, Jay Poster, and not here but part of the band, Alan Molaski. Did I miss anyone? All right, yes, give them, there we go. We want to give a special thanks to Jim Watkins, a special thanks for getting us online. We acknowledge and welcome and are grateful for our audience out there in the cyber world, because we are back to web streaming and it's bigger and better than ever. We even have some high-def cameras. whether it's here or in the Beit Tefillah. So if you got out of that custom when you're not able to be here, please go to lvnertamid.org. Sam Friend, wave your hand. Sam has quickly become a master sound guy for us. He's the sound engineer, and we are very grateful to having found him. He made us sound awesome tonight. Thank you, Sam, very, very much. Thank you to our grill masters, Mike Unger, Stu Solomon, David Linevsky, Leo Schoenfeld, Dorian Leonard Kurtman, Fred Toffel, Jeff Jonas, and Ira Miller. And a big thank you to our membership committee. Will you stand up? Membership committee. If you are here, stand up. All right, Cecilia, you have some other members, stand up. If you want to talk to Cecilia about the temple, talk to her, a member of our board, Roberta, myself, and I think we are beginning, Roberta, are we beginning Blue Cups tonight? So we are bringing back a long-time tradition from Emerson. If you are new to the congregation, or perhaps you haven't been around in a while, and you think, I don't know anyone, and you want people to come up and talk to you, grab a blue cup, all right? And that means everyone who doesn't have a blue cup is invited to become your next best friend. So if you're new or want to meet some new people, grab a blue cup. Last but not least, our dedicated, amazing, charming, they wrote this, charming office staff. Debbie Luce, Beth, and they put Rabbi Reed as written. Beth Davis, Lonnie
And thank you to Debbie
Fritzler,
for being on
Robert
virtual
Unger,
tefillah.
Regina Baker, Linda Rosen, Beth Bowman, Lynette Solomon, Joyce Herlins, and Melissa Lemoyne. What would we do without you? We don't want to find out. And our junior cantors who we thanked, Zoe, Jessica, Davy, Eliana, Sasha, and Crystal, who are wonderful. And we thank them. And once again, a special thank you to our beloved cantor, Jessica Hutchings. All right. So take us to our final song, cantor. Here we go. Let's all stand for this. Let's get in the groovy mood of Ein Keloheinu to Let It Be. Come on, arms to arms. Introduce yourself to your neighbor if you don't know him.